What is clever exploration? This is posted by Wintirabit. Wintirabhat. Get the idea. What is clever exploration? I understand that there is a price in a stupid exploration. I can vividly imagine a stupid exploration. I suppose I can come up with a reward for clever exploration, but what exactly is clever exploration? Is it even a thing? Is it just resource management, risk management? Hi, in case my background is helpful, I'll run a one-shot Mouse Ritter this Sunday. It's my first time GM OSR. I've played Maze Rats once, beautiful game, terrible session. I come from FITD and played by the Apocalypse. FITD, is that something in the dark? I know Blades in the dark. What's F in the dark? Do I want to know what F in the dark is? I'm sure it's not what I'm thinking in my brain right now. But someone in the chat, if you know what F in the dark is, let me know. I'm purely excited by OSR, though. Cheers. All right. And then I guess they had edited it. And they're saying that they seem to be willing to give out too much information, identify exploration as solely information gathering, have unrealistic expectations for clever info gathering. So I guess I obviously wasn't here for the original and then the S to their post. But when I think of clever exploration, it's kind of a combination of what they said in their first post, which is resource management and risk management. How much can you do with getting as little risk and using up as little resources as possible? How efficient? Raid LC says it's forged in the dark. It's just a term for all the blades like games. I got you. Okay. It's efficient. It's efficiency. Exploration, the big dangers are, right, navigation, resources, and I include in resources here, health. Can you navigate through using up as little resources as possible? That's clever. And we could say, well, isn't that efficient? We could call it efficient exploration, right? We could. I think the clever part is because usually in terms of just games in general, we're talking about cleverness, we're talking about interesting ideas. So it's not just being a robot and or a mathematician and just plotting out, okay, we need to do this. We need to make basically a right triangle. So we'll go down, what's the hypotenuse, whatever, and that's faster because it's faster than the length of the two sides, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's being efficient. But you can't make those kind of straight lines. So you're going to have to make decisions, take chances, use your intuition, use your brain, potentially come up with novel solutions to problems. Hey, this would cut 3 days our travel, but it's a 50-foot wide ravine. As a GM, we're thinking there's no way they're going to get past it. They're going to have to take this longer way around. But then the player comes up, or the party in general comes up with a solution to get over that. That's clever. So you put all that together, clever exploration. At least that's what I would call it. We've got a bunch of comments in here. Let's see. I'll just read the top one by Encrusted Goblet. What is the goal of the exploration? Treasure, cartography, wandering around and hoping for the best? What's clever is going to depend on what the goal is. If there is some rumored treasure hidden in the wilderness, clever exploration would include things like interpreting a map well and not getting too lost, interpreting contradictory rumors about the goal and its location, hiring good guys, bringing the right supplies, bringing enough supplies, caching supplies at a good location, away from monsters, animals, or thieves, and then safely arriving at the goal. Yes, but I would say that's true actually whether you're just trying to explore, whether you're finding treasure, or you're trying to map. Those same skills kind of all apply. But yes, in general, I absolutely agree. I feel like people have a pretty good handle on clever, but it's an interesting question, because I think there are these things that we take for granted as terms or as concepts in OSR play that don't really exist in some of these other ones. Like I don't think 5th edition really, and I don't know about Played by the Apocalypse or Powered by the Apocalypse because I've never really played it. I have a couple of the books. I've read them. They seem interesting. Just haven't played it. This idea of the kind of cleverness. I feel like in 5th edition, it's sort of about, I don't know, hero fulfillment, kind of almost wish fulfillment, and what people will appreciate turns and things like that. There's not an emphasis on player cleverness. It's almost more like that's emphasized when you generate your characters or maybe in the combat sphere, but not really as a thing. Right. And Empowered by the Apocalypse, I feel like it's more about this exploration of character, which again doesn't really hinge on this idea of being clever. Whereas the OSR, at least when I think of it, that core of OSR, a lot of it is this, hey, how as a player, how clever are you? Not your character, not what your character's score says, not anything else. How clever are you? What can you do? What can you think about? So I can see how coming from outside that, you might see that term bandied around. I think clever tends to be the term that's used most for this sort of play. And you want to think about, well, what does that mean exactly? So I think it's a good question by Wintirabhact.